Yesterday we discussed on the universal characteristic or the common characteristics. Usually, the development of this vipassana, each object, for example, if it's the wind element, movement, or tightness, tension, a wind element, one wind element consists of 3 characteristics. Every object within this mind and body, they consist of these 3 characteristics. Individual characteristics, the triple characteristics of beginning, middle, ending, and then they have this universal characteristic of anicca, dukkha, anatta, of impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self. So as we develop this vipassana meditation, we need to look into the individual characteristics first. That means you have to pay attention to the hardness, softness, rising, falling, sitting, touching, pressure, pain, various types of pain, thinking, the sleepiness, the characteristics, their characteristic, clear mind, not so clear mind, calm mind, peaceful mind. All these are individual characteristics of the mind and body elements or mind and bodily objects. Now, if you keep on noticing them, then over time, as your mindfulness develops, your clarity, your penetration of the mind, your clear comprehension develops, then you begin to see the triple characteristics clearer, more often. That is to say, you begin to see the beginning process, or the middle process, or later the end process, or all the 3 process together. They come in different times. As you progress, not all the time you will see these three characteristics at one go. Sometimes it will show you the beginning. For example, to notice the intention, how the movement of the leg arises. Sometimes you only notice the middle. For example, when you notice the pain is already there. You don't see how it begins, but the moment you shift the mind from one object to the pain, then the pain is already there, somewhere in the middle. Other times you see exactly how it begins, how it sustains, and how it disappears. And changes, all these changes begins to change faster. Sometimes you slow down, but sometimes you pick up the speed, as if like it's moving from one object to another object. Even sometimes you do not know what you are noting, but you still know that you are still noting the objects of mind and body. Now, as you keep on going in this way, and then the mind is become strong, powerful, penetrative, and yet at the same time, a lot of these pleasant objects, like pleasant feelings, joy, sometimes related, the pleasant feelings related to beautiful memories, deep memories, or sometimes mental creation. You feel good about yourself. You feel good about your practice. And sometimes, if the yogis are not careful, they are not careful. They begin to attach to this type of states of mind, and then they don't see it, but they just keep the mind there and just feel peaceful and calm and nice. So as long as you don't attach to them, one way or another they will arise to every yogi. As long as you pay attention to them, notice them as they really are, again and again, then you are not trapped into this, what we call the imperfections of insight. So you come back to noticing all over again and again. Then with that, you go into the deeper aspect of the characteristic, which is the the universal characteristics of truly the anicca, dukkha, anatta. And all these triple characteristics, all these universal characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta, they are all based on arising and passing away. This word udayapaya, the Pali word, arising and passing away. And they are arising and passing away in the sense that they don't come in, just arise slowly, then take some time, when it pass away. No, it's not like that. It's the moment it arises, the moment it passes away. Just like a flash. It arises, it's already gone. Arises, it's gone, come. Then it arises and passes away continuously. So that time, the yogi's mind is sharp and alert and continuous, which is good. The continuity of the mindfulness is wonderful during that time. It's not affected by thinking or drowsiness and so on. Not so much, a little bit. But throughout the day, the yogi could meditate, whether in the walking or in the sitting. They could see the arising and passing away so much, one after another. Every time the mind becomes alert, the mind's clear, the mind balanced, then all this arising and passing away are noticed very clearly. Noticing this clearly, it begins to see one aspect of anicca, one facet of anicca. But anicca doesn't mean like that only. Anicca means you will also see another way of anicca, another pattern of anicca. As you develop, you see things begin to go into disintegration, dissolution, breaking up. As if like when you notice an object, the object is just arising and passing away right at the end. It doesn't see that much in the beginning or ending, but right at the end, there's arising and passing away. A lot of arising and passing away, and you see completely how the mind or the body ends. Sometimes for some yogis, while they are noting, they notice that how the noting mind ends together with the object. Both ends together. Then after that, both arises, and then the ending are so clear. So this is also another aspect of anicca. So yesterday I mentioned that the reason that we need to see all these things, all these anicca, dukkha, or anatta, again and again, because it needs to change our perception, our wrong perception, our distorted perception that is permanent. To see that the truth of impermanent, not what you think right now, this is what you truly pay attention to it. The inherent wrong, distorted perception of permanence, nature, of permanency, is been with us throughout the samsara. It's throughout the samsara we have been holding on to certain idea of, or even if you don't have idea, but still lodged in the heart, something that is permanent. Why we need to see all this dukkha? Because it needs to change the wrong perception of, which is the opposite of dukkha, which is sukha, happiness. This is like not only just happiness, but a forever happiness. Happiness is totally forever. We are so engrossed in that happiness of beauty. Anything that is nice, we are so attached to all these things. Attached to all this until we begin to suffer due to it. So, in order for us to let go of the perception of beauty or the perception of bliss or everything is nice, then the perception of dukkha needs to be seen. And where do you see the dukkha? Is within this mind and body process, and it shows to you. Yeah? And why do we need to see anatta? Again here, to change our distorted perception of self. Self here means control. You don't see things as conditioning. You don't see it as conditioning. You see everything is that I am in control. If it's not I am in control, sometimes the distorted view is that something else is controlling it. And what is something else? You can fill in the blank like God. You can fill in the blank like a soul. You can fill in the blank like what else? Something that's controlling us. Fate. Control. So this idea of control, it all boils down to because we don't see the true nature of all phenomena. They are all conditioning with each other. Nothing within your control. Nothing within it arises due to conditions, not due to some God, not due to some Brahma, not due to any Buddha, not due to any Bodhisattva, not due to any forces. It's just within this mind and body process. So within this mind and body process also consists of karmic as a conditioning process, karma. So we need to slowly change these things. We need to slowly change this wrong perception of ours in order for us to break free from samsara. If not, the samsara will hold you with all this wrong perception, and you believe that you are still right. So you're in samsara. Carry on and on and on. We believe, some of us, like all this wrong belief, it comes in as, all these things is not separated. Sometimes all this belief is coming as one. For example, you believe that there is a place, there's a land where beings, devas, is there forever. Happiness forever. For example, if you subscribe to the idea of God, idea of a heaven, and heaven, what is the heaven? Heaven is permanent. Permanent, that means no changing. Permanent in sense of happiness. Permanent in the sense of they are in a state of like controlling our lives, fated in that sense. Whether Theravada or Mahayana or Vajrayana also, we have that thing, an idea of permanence. Some land where Arahants or Buddhas is all there. So you got to be careful, that idea too. The idea of permanence, you don't see it as it is harmful because it's not violent type of views. But that view, it keeps you in samsara. It keeps you in samsara. You're happy in samsara. Or you think that you're still happy, wait till, the karma catch up with us, our unwholesome karma catch up with us. Then we go round and round, up and down, the heaven, hell, animals, and so on. If we cannot get out of it, then it's like this. So you got to be careful. Over time, these views can be very strong in us. That when we begin to see this change, this changing, this process that is the truth, the mind begins to like, you're holding on to some view, and here you see the truth right now. And then you cannot, should I believe this or should I notice this? You cannot decide where you want to go. So that is how strong a wrong view can hold you back from getting out of samsara, can let you go any more further. Because we holding on to certain view because of a religious thing, because of a spiritual thing, or because of something that we believe on it so strongly. So we grab on it so strongly, mentally, externally, nothing much. But we don't realize that that wrong view is one of the, Buddha says, wrong view is one of the worst thing of defilements. One of the worst defilements, perhaps. I think so, somewhere I read. Wrong view that comes with violence is terrible. God asked me to kill you. Then you come and then you kill everybody. Then God will take all your sins away. Then you can kill everybody. Then it comes with violence. Wrong view, but it comes with violence. But the wrong view doesn't come with violence. Sometimes it comes with kindness. Sometimes it comes with generosity. But then we don't see the wrong view is behind that. We only see the generosity, we see kindness, we see gratitude, everything, So the front is wholesome, but the back is still a wrong view that's connected to it. So sometimes these things is hard for us to penetrate. A lot of times we have to see it from ourselves. That is to say, we have to bring the mind towards the process of mind and body. And within this process of mind and body, from the beginning, we ask you not to think. Don't reflect about your noticing. Don't think, don't this one. Just observe them as it is. To see the actual truth. Not the truth that you reflect, or not the truth that you think. Because that one can be connected to your own views. Right or not? Whereas when you see things as they are, you're away from all these views. You're away from all your thoughts and your thinking, and to see things as it is, how exactly it happened. And all the truth begin to show to you. So therefore, again and again, we come back to this one. Again and again, we go back to the noting this process of mind and body. And it begins to show you all the arising and passing away. All this arising and passing away, they come in. Yeah? Then, as you keep going, then the next aspect, which is yesterday I also mentioned, is the dukkha aspect, the unsatisfactoriness aspect. It's begin to show it to you. Now, this unsatisfactoriness, this dukkha, they come in three different levels. The level of painful type of dukkha, the dukkha in the Pali. And when the Pali used dukkha, if two words come together, means very painful. Means very, it means, it's the nature of it. If two words, they come together same, that means it enhances that particular word. So dukkha is really hard. So it's painful type of dukkha. And that painful type of dukkha is coming with your old age, sickness, death, and birth, and pain here, pain there, pain everywhere. Unpleasantness. Not only this bodily pain, but also the mental pain also. The mental suffering that you go through. All this falls under the dukkha. Then we observe what is going on with this body as we meditate on it. But make sure that you realize that this dukkha is not all the dukkha you have seen. Just because you sit there Bhante, half an hour I can withstand the pain. Noticing, very good. You think you want to tell me you're like that? No, this thumb is not going to come up yet. Wait till you see the deeper aspect of dukkha. Then only you realize that it's not painful, but it's just unsatisfactory. Yeah. So, the second level of dukkha, when we see this dukkha as it change, they call it the viparinama dukkha. Viparinama here, it means change. Change in the dukkha. That is to say, when it's connected to pleasant feelings. Connected to pleasant feelings, then this, you see the pleasant feelings that is changing. The mind states that is pleasant, it goes. You notice some joy, you notice, it disappears. Then when it disappears, you don't feel good about it. When it comes, you feel that happiness, but after that, when it goes, then it comes again, sometimes you come, then you feel that is also another aspect of dukkha. Huh? Now, dukkha due to formation, the third one, sankhara dukkha. Now, the sankhara dukkha here is anything that arises due to condition. Anything that you see is anything that arising, whether it's mental process or physical process that is arising. The moment it is arise, dukkha already. It's hard for us to comprehend right now. It's truly hard for us to comprehend. How come it's just anything that's arising already dukkha? For example, like you move your hand right now. You move hand like that. What dukkha is there? You don't see any dukkha. Because right now, the mind is not sharp enough, not penetrative enough, not clear enough. So even you move a hand, you don't see anything is dukkha. But when the mind is that powerful, every motion, every little motion of that hand, there's a feeling of difficulty. Even the hand is completely, or your health is completely healthy. Nothing wrong with the hand. It's just that because of the clarity of the mind, a little bit of movement, the dukkha affects the mind, affects the whole psyche. Then that's why that is where you begin to see the perception of everything that arises, everything that's arising, all are in a state of dukkha. Which the Buddha says right. Everything is dukkha. Just that we cannot see it yet. So now, when it comes into the practice, the aspect of dukkha here, where the formation of this dukkha becomes much more clearer. You begin to see the formation type of dukkha, the sankhara dukkha, clearer as you go into it. Because all this dukkha that arises has to connect it with the arising and passing away. You see things keep on disappearing. You meditate, and arising and passing away, everything keep on disappearing. Nothing for you to hold, nothing for you to attach to. In the past that you begin to attach to your body, you like the body, you attach to your mind, you attach to your thoughts, you attach to your reflection, you attach to your suttas, you attach to your dhammas, you attach to this, you attach to that. But all these thoughts, they are just arising and passing away. And all these thoughts in the past that you used to attach to them without you realizing it, now you see all these thoughts are just arising and passing away. Nothing for you to hold, nothing for you to grasp on. Then you feel that something wrong with you. Then you feel that a sense of fear is there, a sense of danger is there. You feel that your body is nice, you feel that you are healthy, you feel that you are young. For some of you, for most of you, it's So when we notice these things again and again, as nothing for us to hold on to, not the mind, not our reflection, not our dhamma, not everything. Everything is everything goes into disintegration. So therefore, dukkha, the aspect of dukkha is there. Then it goes into, then you keep on meditating. You got to, as I said, in the process, during the noticing of dukkha is one of the most difficult times yogi has to go through. Because a lot of times we are attached to all things that is beautiful. When it comes to the dukkha, it's so difficult for us to undo, to disentangle. So we keep on going, and we keep on noticing these mind and bodily processes, and sooner or later, the processes become so difficult to bear. Even the rising, falling that you notice, rising, falling, what's dukkha in there? Next time, all this rising and falling, all this movement, it's so difficult to bear, the changes are rising and passing away. But when you stop meditating, when you stop, you get up, after 1 hour you get up, everything okay. There's no problem at all. No dukkha, nothing at all. You don't feel it at all, nothing, zero. But the next hour, you sit down again, you bring back all the mindfulness, all the noting mind, and you start all over again like a tornado inside there. Pulling, testing, twisting, whatever is going inside there. Then you finish that hour, gone. So why is that so? Again here, it's because the mindfulness are sharp and penetrative. The moment you stop noting them, they are all goes into the background. And they kind of like not there anymore. And you sit again, or you pull up all your noting mind again to notice it clearly, then everything there again. Then you stop the meditation. In other words, you drop the concentration, you drop the mindfulness to a more general level. Then you don't feel it anymore. Yeah. So that's how deep it can go. How deep the mindfulness can go. That time, you know when to push your mind, when to relax, when to push and relax, push and relax. Have to go like that. So you feel really difficult. Some teachers says this is the part where you begin to roll up your carpet. No, roll up my carpet and go back your back. No, cannot take it. Very difficult to take it. But it does. The dukkha does not end there. It becomes so until like you're totally fed up with the meditation. And sometimes that 1 hour that you have been doing it for so long, you can do it 1 hour, easily, easily you can able to take the 1 hour, no problem. But this time when the dukkha comes in, even your concentration, your mindfulness is so strong, you can't even sit still. It's so difficult even to sit still because of the dukkha is so tremendous. But the moment that you, as I said, the moment you let it go, everything, all the processes just completely disappear. Then only that time you'll see how deep is that mindfulness, how strong is that mindfulness. You can able to figure out when the mindfulness is strong, you know it's strong. When it's not so strong, you know it's not so strong. But that also is another aspect of dukkha. Yeah? Now, the dukkha will go on even further. But because you see until these mental and bodily processes are so horrible and so terrible, if that time you really want to get out of samsara, yeah, they call it a genuine wish to truly to get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. You want to find the realization of Nibbana. Yeah. And that time, the true wish of Nibbana will come up. This time, you all say, I want Nibbana, but then after finish the retreat, you'll be looking for food, you'll be looking for family members again, you can everything all over again, happy again. Say only lah, y'all. But the true wish of Nibbana hasn't really truly come up yet. But it's still good that we have the direction. It's still good. At least we know where we want to go. But the thing is that it's only you see all the suffering only, then only you really want to get out of it. You don't see the suffering yet. You don't see that truly all these different aspects of dukkha. you think that samsara is still beautiful, still nice. Huh? So that one is a very genuine aspect that you want to keep on going into it, keep on looking for enlightenment already. Yeah? So it's good that time. Yeah? Your mind begin to notice it. But the dukkha doesn't end there yet. Yeah? It's just only a wish. So you have to keep on noting day in, day out, walking, sitting, day after day. Until the mind keep on going further and further or deeper and deeper into the progress. And this time, all the three level of anicca, dukkha, anatta become very clear. You re-observe again all the process that you have gone through, but this time is even stronger, more powerful, more. This is excruciating. Yeah, this is difficult because the dukkha aspect becomes even much more pronounced. That is to say, the first level of dukkha, second level of dukkha, third level of dukkha, completely at its peak. One dukkha already you cannot take already. One buttock pain also cannot take already. But this time, all the three dukkha for you to see. At the same time, you are so painful. At the same time, it arises and passes away. At the same time, they keep on changing. Yeah. So it's difficult. Some yogis going through, but as I said, when you go through all these things, you must have the faith. Your faith is going to be truly tested. Truly tested. Your confidence in the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha will be truly tested. At that time, your meditation, you see all these things. It's so hard for you to go through. So you have to have faith in the practice. Keep noting. That's all I can say. You don't have to do much. You cannot ask the Buddha to come and help you. Buddha, give me the strength. Buddha, Guan Yin Pusa, give me the strength. Bye. You pray here, pray there, pray everywhere. No. You cannot depend on anything. You only depend on you yourself only. And that, when it comes to here, this is where all your dana that you have done in the past, all your understanding, all your gratitude, all your kindness, all your whatever wholesomeness that you have, that you've done in the past, is going to support you. And all the unwholesome deeds that you have given up, killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, drinking, and so on, all these things that you have given up, all the dana that you've given up, and all these things are going to be support you for your further development. So all these things that you have done, don't ever underestimate that it is not connected to your practice at all. Yeah, all these things is going to support you during this time. So that's why when you go back, make sure you do a lot of wholesome deeds. Make sure you do a lot of dana. Make sure you do a lot of keep your sila, protect your 5 precepts, and then these kind of things. You don't realize that how important when it comes to the confidence, how it supports you, and how it's going to bring you into further development. Now you see this dukkha so much again and again, and your mind keep noticing it, you feel difficult about it, and so on, until you start to until you keep it going, until this time your mind comes to its equanimity. They call it the knowledge of equanimity. Knowledge of equanimity here, what happened is that you see this arising and passing away. You see this dukkha. You see this changing. You see whatever that is arising and passing away during this time. but your mind is not affected at all. Your mind is truly stable. You see this time also the aspect of anatta is going to be very clear. Like for example, that as I said, there's no control. And you truly see there's the things that's not in control. For example, sometimes you go to do your walking meditation, right? Sometimes your walking meditation, suddenly you walk, you tumble a little bit. You get imbalance. That time when your mind is truly alert, before you tumble, the mind already know that you're going to tumble. That you want to notice your rising and falling. Sometimes you say that, oh, this rising is going long a bit, short a bit, this way, that way, This time you notice this thing. Oh, perhaps you say, oh, Bhante, I cannot control this. Do you want to go here? You go there. Want to go here? You go here. Yeah, it's true. But as you go in much more deeper, before the rising falling goes into that direction, the mind knows it first. That is going to go that direction. You think you're still in control. The mind knows that it's going to go slightly, that your toes is going to slightly open up. Very insignificant in our life, but the mind knows it first. Everything that you move, everything that you thought, everything that you do, the mind comes first. That's why the Buddha says, mind is the forerunner of all phenomena, which is truly the word, if you know it through the way of vipassana, then only you realize how deep these words can go. So you truly see that everything is not within your control. How it changes, this way, this pattern, that pattern, how it change, there's nothing in your control. The pain that comes in, you can able to notice the pain, yet the mind can be steady with the pain. Nothing can shake the equanimity. You get up at 4 a.m. in the morning. That time you already like super clear already. Super clear. You can be clear throughout the whole day. Walking, sitting, you don't have to do like one phase, two phase. Straight away you can go into three phase and nothing will happen to the body. Because the mind is so alert. You can do things a little bit faster, but very easy for you to slow down. The mind doesn't break into thinking, doesn't break into long thoughts. You can stay there. The moment it sits down, everything is so clear. Everything is changing, everything arising and passing away. And all the thoughts, like for example, last week or this week, I said about sometimes our memories of the past really affect us. Sadness and all the difficult memories of the past, it all affect us because when it comes in, all our mind becomes shaky, tears come out, everything. The same memory that comes up during the equanimity that time, that thought does not affect you at all. Not even sadness at all. You can see the faces of your loved one so clearly right in front of you. They are all just arising and passing away. And all these things your mind just go into equanimity. And even that all the memories of your past that give you all the happiness and all that thing, then those things, the memory is still clear, but the mind is truly equanimous and it knows exactly what is going on. Interesting, isn't it? But then sometimes, of course, when we attach to life, I don't want this equanimity, no fun already, No, it's where all the joy. But that is because we are thinking from the worldly aspect, worldly ways. When we come to the spiritual way, as we develop further, this is where the mind gets so stable that even you hear something, the hearing thoughts does not affect you. You see something, you see a snake or whatever, you are not affected by the snake. Even if you see a ghost, let's say, the ghost come, go, what's the big deal? if you see a ghost, nothing affects you. From the hearing, seeing, tasting, smelling, and everything, nothing affects you. But you eat, but you're still able to eat, and your eating becomes so clear. Your sensation, everything becomes clear. But all these things, you feel the pleasantness, unpleasantness, but pleasant, unpleasantness, spices, chili, and all that doesn't really affect you. You can take it all in. Yeah. Your pain comes in. Your here pain, there pain, old age, and all that. Does not affect you that time because your mind is so steady. Nothing affects the mind because of its absolute continuity of that mindfulness. Super strong at that time. You can sit for a few hours, also no problem at that time, if you want to. You can sit, walk, also okay, because the continuity from your walking to the sitting, walking to the sitting, it maintains that level of continuity. Also okay, perfect. Now then, then it comes with it gets your mind to be ready for Nibbana. Yeah. It gets the mind to be ready for Nibbana, because the realization of Nibbana does not come in like, wow, so happy, so peaceful, so tranquil, and so on. It's not that way. Huh? Now, before we talk any more further, now, while we talk until here, if you don't understand, if you don't remember what I talk about, it's perfectly alright. This is not one time you listen, you understand everything. What I'm trying to say is that I want to give you an understanding that the development of this vipassana until enlightenment is all within the process of anicca, dukkha, anatta. Yeah? In the process of this impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-self, and they come in various ways. Why is it that we have to understand that? Because if you go out next time, different people tell you different way of enlightenment. They have all kinds of ways of enlightenment. I mean, enlightenment is not just only used by the Buddha. Nowadays, even monks or nuns or different sects or religion, they use the word Nibbana, or even they use the word enlightenment or Nibbana also, whichever it is. So to them, I mean, you can talk about Nibbana, you can talk about Nirvana, you can talk about enlightenment. But what is important for you to understand also, the process that towards that enlightenment. If you see, people can interpret that enlightenment any way they want to. Right or not? You go to one place, you go to another place, you go to another place, whether what, within the Buddhism or within the world itself, everybody have their own interpretation. So therefore, you do not know which one is right and which one is wrong. You don't know what is what. Because that also says like that, that also says like that, that also says like that. I say one thing, another teacher come next time say another thing. So now here in the text, this one, the Buddha mentioned that the process of this enlightenment, the process of realization of Nibbana, you have to go through the anicca, dukkha, anatta, all this process. And a lot of times people out there nowadays, when they talk about enlightenment, they talk about sudden enlightenment. You sit, pop, whole thing, yeah. You're enlightened already. Then you ask them, is there any anicca, dukkha, anatta? No, nothing. Just sit there, suddenly the bright light come up. Enlightenment. And then, not only that, if you are ignorant enough, stupid enough, you go and follow them. Then you sit there, meditate, bright light coming up. Enlightenment. You also think that you are enlightened. Then you go and teach other people. You do not know. You are doing a lot of unwholesome karma. And yet, everybody feel happy. Enlightenment. Just because nowadays, even some monks also, they meditate, man. There's no anicca, dukkha, anatta. They go into samatha meditation. Just meditate samatha way. In breath, out breath, and then the mind become peaceful. Then they mention that, oh, my mind is like a lotus. The lotus is blooming, all the petals are opening by the sunlight it coming, as if like my mind is all opening everywhere. Enlightenment. You believe that because it's written by a monk, and the prominent monks too. Or any of the monks that you think that is prominent enough. Yeah. No anicca, dukkha, anatta nowadays. And people get so easy just by meditating there, just have some lights, just sit there, then enlightenment. So next time, how you describe enlightenment, you don't get too attached to what people describe about enlightenment. You look for how the process of enlightenment towards it. Then you know that whether it's actually they are following the teachings of the Buddha, or actually they are creating, interpreting their own way of doing it. Yeah. Here, make sure, as I said over here, your job is not to interpret your own development. All your job is just to note, because by the moment that you start to interpret your development, you're bringing that bias of thinking to come in, and you're just going to be like them. And sometimes people are meditating in this vipassana. They're not enlightened yet, but they interpret that already there. Yeah? Overestimating their own practice. Overestimating their practice. So my job is to make sure that if you don't want to believe me, never mind, it's okay. What you need to do is that you keep practicing. You will see it for yourself. You want to believe me, don't want to believe me, it does not matter. What matters is that you make sure that your mindfulness is clear, you keep noting, eventually, finally, we're going to see anicca, dukkha, anatta also. Yeah? So, if the monk is, let's say, or you read that the process of the development is a lot to do with anicca, dukkha, anatta, then perhaps it's quite alright. But if they are talking about all kinds of lights, all kinds of the Buddha come and look to them, you see the Kuan Yin Pusa, you see this one, you see the Metteyya Buddha, you see this one, and you see all kinds of images, and suddenly they get enlightened one. You better be careful already. There are books, even in Theravada books also. The monk is meditating in a cave. I mean, very good, meditating in a cave. But then, in the cave, the Buddha come to him. Not only the Buddha come to him, Sariputta also come to him. The Moggallana also come to him. All the Arahants come to him to join the club. Arahant club. And then they believe. And people believe. It's written down as a Dhamma book. People believe. And how are we going to tell them it's not? Who am I to say that it's not? Because I know it's not the way. I know this is all a lot to do with imperfection of insight, where the mind gets attached to their own biased belief, their own biased reflection, creation of the mind. They go biased to it, they attach to it, they interpret it to be Nibbana, and they hold on to it, and they tell to everybody, this is it. So many monks, even in the Theravada tradition, because of that mind that is creating all these things. So you be careful. So be careful of this mind, this heart of ours. They can able to project a lot of all this creation, and we believe that they are all enlightenment or Nibbana or whatever it is. So put it all aside. Just keep noting. So here, as you keep on noting this equanimity, the mind is changing clearly and arising and passing away very clearly. You see this again and again. Then the mind is getting ready for the realization of Nibbana. The realization of Nibbana, we use the word realization of Nibbana here is because that Nibbana is not created. The Nibbana is not created by somebody. It is already there. It is already there. Here, it is there. Although Nibbana is there, inverted comma, but the things that we cannot see it yet, because we don't have the right consciousness to see it. You don't have the right consciousness. For example, when we have a consciousness of our mind, these consciousnesses are very specific. You hear something, the consciousness of hearing arises. You hearing something. You see something, the consciousness of the eye arises. You touch something, you feel something, consciousness of the mind or consciousness of the body arises. You taste something, consciousness of the tongue arises. So these are different consciousness that arises, different types of consciousness. But this consciousness cannot take Nibbana as an object. They are very specific to their object. Hearing consciousness take the hearing object. The tongue consciousness take the taste as its object. So what consciousness takes Nibbana as an object? There you keep on chanting all the time. Idang me silang maga pala jnanasa pachayo hotu. The word maga and pala, path and fruition. These two are called the path and fruition consciousness. The path and fruition consciousness, and these two consciousness takes Nibbana as an object. The Buddha used the word the element of Nibbana. And they are real. Nibbana has characteristic in a way, but there's no arising, there's no passing away. It's actually the end of arising and passing away. That's why sometimes they use the word Nibbana as cessation. They use the word Nibbana as a cessation. Like in the third noble truth, in the third noble truth, we use the word cessation of dukkha, nirodha, dukkha, nirodha. Dukkha, what is dukkha? Dukkha is the unsatisfactoriness of suffering. Nirodha means cessation. Why is it that it's cessation? Because the arising and passing away stops. Completely come to a stop. That means, in other words, the mind is out of this arising and passing away. Out of these 5 aggregates, all the mind and bodily process within these 5 aggregates is always arising and passing away. There's no stop. But the moment that you have this magga and phala, the mind turns into it and observe and notice everything goes into cessation, stop. How to describe further like that? There's nothing there to describe. Nibbana is not like a place, Nibbana is not like something a heaven or something like you sit there, oh so nice. No, it's not like that. It's just peaceful in the sense of without this arising and passing away. Arising and passing away is dukkha. Without all these things, peaceful. The word peaceful there in the ultimate sense. Yeah? So how are you going to describe Nibbana? It's hard to describe. It's very hard to describe. But the thing is that realization of that Nibbana thing, because it comes with that magga and phala, path and friction consciousness, and that path consciousness is the one that it cuts off, completely cuts off certain defilements. And when it starts to cut off that defilements, this is only where you get out of the samsara, or you're going to get out of this cycle of birth and rebirth. Sooner or later, there will be stop already. So, from the process of equanimity, that you're seeing all these processes, then when your mind is mature, you're seeing all these things going faster and faster, changing even faster and faster until the mind process becomes ready for it. The magga and phala arises, then you see Nibbana. Then you don't even know that time. You don't even know that there's eradication of defilements take place. You don't even know. Because what is being eradicated is what we call latent defilements, not the active defilements. Active defilements, for example, when you are angry, is all for example, like this is active. Latent means right now you're not angry, right? But you can be angry when the condition arises. But now the phala, the path consciousness, that is the one who eradicate defilements at its latent level. Take, for example, the first level of enlightenment. It eradicates 2 types of defilements or 3 factors. One, the first one it eradicates is the wrong view. Wrong view. The first one is all the wrong view that you eradicate. Wrong view of what? Wrong view of there is a, it's connected to, the Buddha says that it's connected to, you think that you keep on praying, do all kinds of sacrifices and everything, then you get a Nibbana. That type of view, it will not come up anymore. Wrong view about this body and mind process is there's permanent, there's satisfactoriness, there's atta, there's self. That type of view also does not come up because you see it for yourself over the whole process that all these things belongs to anicca. Everything is just anicca, dukkha, anatta. So it already eradicate that defilement. So both of them falls under wrong view. Another one that eradicate is that skeptical doubt. You doubt whether this vipassana can bring you to enlightenment or not. You doubt whether this noting this arising and passing away okay or not. You doubt whether this painful buttock pain here, that pain, and why should I notice all this pain? That type of doubt, no more. No more. Because you arrive at the realization of Nibbana. You doubt about whether the Buddha is speaking the truth or not. You don't doubt that anymore. Yeah. You doubt all this whether other people has enlightenment or not. You don't doubt because you know that those people who practice well, their possibility of enlightenment is there. Yeah. The doubt. Sometimes you tell you keep going, then you by the time you come back you doubt, or you don't know whether you say it correct or not. You doubt. Yeah. So when there's doubt, the faith is all shaken. When it's without doubt, it's called the unshakable faith. Yeah. The faith is unshaken. Unshaken of what? It's unshaken of the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, and the practice of Sila, Samadhi, and Panya. Yeah? All the Noble Eightfold Path, the practice of Vipassana, and all that, there's no doubt anymore. You know that it works because realization is there. The goal is achieved. At least for now, that goal is achieved. Yeah? So what do you do after that? After enlightenment? Shake leg. After enlightenment, back again to rising, falling, sitting, touching, and you go further and further. Yeah? We'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. Yeah? We talk about the process of enlightenment. Although we come to enlightenment, you cannot stay in Nibbana for too long, because there's nothing there. You have to come back to the process of the body also. The Buddha also don't stay in Nibbana for that long. It just experience Nibbana, come out and back again to the sensation. Nobody stays in Nibbana that long. Yeah. So we'll see. Tomorrow we'll talk about it a little bit more. Yeah. Okay.